Hello and welcome to. I feel so weird doing this. Hello and welcome to Vlogmas, episode 2, day 2. I'm doing this again, y'all! Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Charlie and it's been a strange day. Okay, so I have made a decision. I am going to be working on Project Purple, which is my Crypts and Wyvern setting. I've talked about this a little bit before. I actually have a trailer for it up on the channel, and this was originally intended to be a lit RPG series and setting. I don't know if that's going to stay the case. I don't know if that's going to stay true just because I came up with a bunch of new magical species that I really like. And I kind of want to take them a little bit more seriously than I would if I did a lit RPG. So we are going to have to see what I end up doing with it. At least at this point, whether I'm just making it or not the way I am or not, it's going to be the same. So, because I got to make the game as if it were real, regardless of whether or not the rest of it's a lit RPG or not. So I at least have to keep that going. So I'm going to decide later on whether or not the lit RPG elements are going to survive into the final product or not. But it is going to be a game. And I have decided not to worry too much at this point about game stats. One, it's going to be a cipher system game, which the game stats are fairly straightforward and will be easy to put in as kind of the first wave edit on it. Because right now I really want to focus on the world, the magical races, the classes, the way the world actually works. I kind of want to get all that done and figured out first, and then come back in and put the rules in as the next layer. Because I think that would be the best way to go about making a game. I'm not entirely sure. Because I've never really made a game from the ground up like this before. I mean, I've made campaigns to play in. I have done like little adaptations. I've never actually built a game from the ground up like this where the entire world had to be there. So I'm really wanting to focus on this as a game more than I am as a setting for the story right now. Because I really want this to be a playable tabletop RPG. And by the time I get to the end of the project. And I think that that's doable. I think that that's 100% doable. As long as I can keep my focus, and as long as I can keep myself motivated. And that should be easy for a project like this. Because when I say motivated, I don't think I'm going to lose interest. I don't think I'm going to get to a point where I'm like, why am I working on this? I think the biggest enemy that I'm going to face trying to put this together is time. Because this is not going to be as simple and straightforward as just creating a world for a story. Because when you're doing world building for fiction, the only bits of the world that you have to develop are the parts that have an impact on the story. If it's not going to affect the story, you don't need to know it. And for a game, you kind of need to know enough that anybody could write a story in it, because that is the end goal here, right? Is that once this is out and it's playable, people can pick it up and play it, either using the free version up on World Anvil or through the version that will be available on DriveThruRPG, the collected version of it. So it has to be a lot more detailed and thorough on the one hand, but it has to be kind of more open on the other. And those two things really are at odds with each other, and it's going to be something that I'm going to have to work really, really hard on to keep my focus. Because that's where this could all fall apart, is it has to have various opportunities for story ideas to come in. It has to have a lot of opportunities so people can run different kinds of stories in it. But at the same time, I can't allow myself to succumb to world builder's disease, where all I do is write and write and write and never actually get to a finished product. That's going to be a nightmare. That's going to be really problematic to figure out where that line is. So if I go back to the idea of the lean writer and the most valuable, the MVP, the minimum viable product, I think my goal is to pretty much pick up any of these that I have behind me. I've got several game books behind me. This is just the easiest one to grab because I've grabbed it out a couple times. And make sure that I have all the main kinds of content that would be in one of these. So I need to have all of the major factions figured out, the playable races figured out, and I need to have the basic history figured out and the basic classes. Like what people do and how they do it. So as long as I can get that level of detail done, then I should be fine. I should be okay. And then I can continue to develop and build from there. But I can't take my eyes off the prize. I cannot take my eyes off of what needs to be done and getting that minimum viable product completed. Because this really is the kind of project that I could lose myself in for years, if not decades, of just writing, ooh, wouldn't this be cool, and wouldn't this be cool, and wouldn't this be cool. And I'm not saying I'm not going to let myself have any of those ooh shiny moments. Janet has been putting up stuff on the World Anvil YouTube channel, that some prompts for their advent calendar that I already want to write stuff for. So I am going to allow myself to have some of those flights of fancy and let myself have some of those things that aren't necessary for this project, but I need to try to keep myself focused enough that I can get to a 1.0 of the game as quickly as possible. Or at least a 0.1 that can then be built out from there. So, playable races, the playable classes, the factions, and the basic briefest overview of history. I think that's all that I need to make this kind of sort of work. I would love to know what you think. Like, am I missing something in that? Because thinking of all of the basic tabletop games that I've played, those are essentially what you would find in that core book. Because that's, more than anything, what I'm writing right now is the core book for the game. So, that should be fine. And the nice thing is, because I'm using Cypher, I don't have to make a lot of the basic skills and stuff, because that's covered in the core rulebook, and all I have to do is say, go look at the core rulebook for those. So that simplifies things. Ooh, you know what I should do? I have my... Where are you? I'm not going to pull it out just yet. I have my first edition Dragonlance book over there. I should really look at that and use it as kind of a model and as inspiration for how I want to build this story up and how I want to build this world up. Because I think that is going to have a lot of what I'm wanting in there. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So, I have a plan. I just need to stick to the plan. I need to get the plan done. And I should be fine. Right? I can't wait to keep doing these daily to let you know where I'm at, because I feel like things are going to go off the rails at any moment now. Alrighty. So thank you for listening. If you'd like to support what I do, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. That really helps out a lot. If you know anybody who'd be interested in following the creation of a tabletop role-playing game, share the video. That helps out immensely. You can also find links to my Patreon and Ko-fi down in the doobly-doo. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, as always, remember, Black Lives Matter, Black Trans Lives Matter, and trans identities are magic. Alright? Until next time, may you. So go out there and don't forget to ride your... So please, until next time, have the courage, until next time, may you have the courage to ride your dreams into reality, and don't forget to have the fun. Bye.